All right, guys. Good morning. I guess it's still morning. It's 11 a.m. where I am. And I'm running a few minutes behind because I just added a new thing in the chat. I had a thought that I want you guys to do a finger exercise from my 50 Days to Flying Fingers course. And before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody grabs the PDFs that I put. There are three things that I think are in the chat. You guys can say hello in the chat. Thank you for those who have already liked the videos. Like this video. Making sure my sound isn't on. What's up, Claire? Back from vacation. Good to see you, as always. All right, so we have three important things. The first thing is the Beginning Blues PDF that we're going to go through. Again, this is for beginning to intermediate players today. And I think people at any level, including me and anyone watching, I think you can benefit by doing these things that we're going to do today. The second thing that's on there is my link to the WhatsApp chat group. Well, what in the world is that? Some of you may not even know what WhatsApp is, but it's just a free community-based platform that we can easily connect. In fact, Claire is a member of that, as well as my iMusicAcademy unofficial membership group, which Claire has been around with me since the beginning of this, a year and a half ago at least. So here's what you get. WhatsApp chat is just a way that we can connect with each other, not just with music, but family stuff. And I also give out tips and links and, hey, here's what's going on at iMusicAcademy, that kind of thing. So all you have to do is click that link. And I don't know if it automatically adds you or if I hit the button. So if you want to connect with me and others in the group, just hit that WhatsApp chat group. And it's totally free, and it's just a good way to connect. And you can also ask questions as well about any kind of thing you're related to music and things we do at iMusicAcademy. And the third thing that I just added is this exercise right here, which I want everybody to grab the PDF. Even if you don't read music, just grab the PDF because it shows you the finger numbers. It's a very simple exercise, but it's so important. When I started 50 Days to Flying Fingers, I had an incredible teacher that helped me learn about finger exercises and things like that. And so I kind of took my jazz and my classical background and made a really, really my favorite course out of all the ones that I've done. But I do think it's really beneficial. Even if you just did the first example, you'll know what I'm talking about. So grab that PDF. And as we dig in today, let me just start with that exercise because it's so important to learn about or to do exercises that work all of your fingers. Let me see if I can pull that up. And all you guys have to do, that's a quick download. Just grab it and go. It's very simple. Let's see if I can pull that up. Well, I'll click the link and see where it takes me. Okay, so it pulled it right up. And then you guys just hit download and you'll always have that. Okay, so I'm looking at the exercise. Okay, so what this exercise does, and we're gonna go about an hour today. I think we did this the other day, and I've had so much good feedback on the video we did, the beginning blues thing. We're gonna go till about 12 or 12:05. So an hour from now. Okay, so this exercise comes out of the C triad. Let me pull up, make sure I'm on the right one. Let me change my windows around, guys, so that I can see you and the PDF as we talk through it. All right, so this exercise, you have to hold the bottom notes. We're taking a C triad, C, D, E, F, G, and we're holding the bottom notes, and all you do is this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and this is the first measure. The trick is holding the bottom notes, and you'll notice when you're doing this exercise, you will notice what fingers are weak, and the first measure is not that bad. It's the second measure. You go to D and you hold the D's, and then you do F and G, and this is where you're going to notice right away that your fourth and fifth fingers are weak. But you have to hold those bottom notes, and you're not looking for speed here. You're just looking for accuracy. And then you're going to reverse the exercise. And watch this. I do the G, now I do E, C. And then I go to F and I do fingers 2 and 4, and then I'm hitting the D and C. And I do believe that this will change, even this one exercise will radically change your piano technique if you did it every day. And out of this was the beginning. We started with 50 Days to Flying Fingers, and what developed was kind of mind-blowing of all the different things that you can do and different exercises to use the hand. Start with 50 Days to Flying Fingers, example 1, and I want somebody to try it. Let me know if you find it difficult or hard, or if you notice that your fingers are weak, the 4th and 5th fingers. And then also I want you to try it for a couple of days and then get back with me and say, hey, I've been working on this and my fingers are getting better. Hey, Peter, how's it going? Another faithful. Peter's always here. I beat you to the stream today, Peter. So good to see you as always. And all right, guys, so I started off with the technique thing because it is that important. And of course, Vicky, is always good to see you. Again, you have to put, even though I know where all of you are from, just put in the chat where you're from. I'm doing this new thing across the world. We've had people from Africa, from Germany, Belgium, Brazil, all kinds of places. And so just put a general where you are from, and that's just been something that's been really cool for me to see. People all over the world, with a click of a button, we can connect and talk about music. So, all right, so let's talk about blues. The first thing in this beginning blues PDF, let me go ahead and switch gears and turn that PDF on. And you guys, this is in the link, so all you have to do is just click it, and it's yours. Enjoy that. But here's what we're doing. The 5-finger pattern of the blues. As we work on these patterns, I want to make sure everybody knows your major scale, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And let's just go over the fingering, because this is beginning to intermediate. If the notes middle C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? You start over after you get to G, A, B, C, and you think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is how you get your if you get your major scales, all of your major scales down, and then you think in terms of numbers, you can make any pattern work in any key. So in this case, we want to make sure that we have the 5-finger blues scale. And if you're more of an intermediate player, just hold on, because it'll get very interesting really quickly, what I'm going to show you today. But it's important to think, all right, that's the root, that's the minor third, that's the 4th, that's the sharp 4, and that's the 5. Because notice I'm getting in this what we call a shape 1 at iMusicAcademy. Shape 1 is important to know because, one, if you're a beginning blues player, awesome, very good. Yeah. It's so good to have my faithful joining in the chat. I love it. So guys, this first thing, and Claire and Peter and Vicky, you all know this, is that get this with this shape going, where you put each finger over each note of the 5-finger blues scale, first 5 notes of the C minor blues scale, and then notice that if I push them all together, my fingers are over each note, and that way I don't even have to look at you guys, and I know that's the minor third, that's the root, that's the 5th, and I can play this without even having to really think about much going on. And as I'm looking at this PDF, I'm doing this exercise right here, where I just go up and down. The fingering is going to be the same in all keys. C, and technically, if I have a little more experience, I could go up to C sharp or D flat. And because I know my D flat major scale, I can easily play that pattern right there, because I know the D major scale. And again, I had to learn how, I didn't know all of these major scales. When I first started music, I had to learn them all in 1 week. And so it was a crash course. I had to learn, all right, C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then I had to go, all right, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I had to learn it in D. So I had to learn these patterns. You don't just immediately know them, right? We all have to put in work, and the reason I was able to do that is because I have this little trick that I came up with many years ago, and my Music Academy know about this, but I want to tell you guys because this is a game changer. I always say the word game changer to my students because it really is a game changer, and I wished I had known about this stuff earlier. Okay, let me give you guys a quick crash course in this. Is that I like the idea that if I know my major scales and I can say them going up, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, I think it's equally as important to be able to say them backwards, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. So no matter what scale I'm thinking about, if I was in G, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. And the reason that I can do that is because I practiced this little tip of I had the idea, well, how am I going to learn these going up and down? And then maybe even why should I learn them going up and down? If I'm playing a run or an idea, and I go up, I know exactly what the notes are going up and down. But if I'm on the way down and I want to tell somebody about that, I need to be able to not only look and go, oh, that's C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, or to be able to tell somebody, oh, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And the way I was able to do that is I wrote out the major scales, and I actually had Claire and Peter. I'm sure you guys remember this. As I said, I want you guys to write this out. Remember when I did that? I said, all right, we're going to write them out, and I'll do like this. Let me show you. Here's where the trick's going to come in. I'm going to write it out up here, and then I'll show you. C, D, E, F. And we do learn fast, or we learn things better if we actually write it out ourselves. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The trick is to take this and put it in a rhythm. C, D, E, F, and then I'm going to put a comma there. C, D, E, F. So I'm breaking up into 4-note groups. And the way you do this is you think, all right, I'm going to learn C major. C, D, E, F. All right, C, D, E, F, C, D, E, F. And I remember when I started learning these, I can't remember what job I was working. I think it was at like a fruit stand or something. I don't know, but I just remember, or shaved ice, that's what it was. And I remember sitting there like making these snow cones or whatever, and I was going C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. So you can do it. You don't even have to be at your keyboard, but it's very helpful to do this kind of thing. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And notice I'm putting it in a little rhythm. And then I'm going to practice going right to left. C, B, A, G. I practiced that for a while. C, B, A, G. And then I work on F, E, D, C. And you practice going back and forth. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Now once you learn their major scales up and down, and then you assign the numbers to this system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you have your major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Now if I assign any kind of pattern, I can easily find that. Or a chord. For instance, let me give you an example. If I said, all right, play a C chord, I said, I want you to do the 1, 3, 5 of the major scale. You're going to go, oh, that's the 1 of a C major. That's my C note. That's the 3rd note of the C major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? If I said play a C major 7, you're going to give you 1, 3, 5, and major 7 of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I said play a C7, a bluesy sound, you flat the 7th note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Normally has a major 7, all white notes for C major, but you flat it, so you lower it by half step. Okay, that's the benefit of learning your scales, one of the many awesome benefits of learning scales. Okay, so for this pattern, we're going to use what's in the PDF. We're doing this right here. The very first example, you're doing this, and what I call automatic pilot. You're just going up and down, keeping your hand in that shape. This is shape 1, okay? You spend time on that. If you're more experienced, you're going to take it into several different keys, right? Same exact fingering all the way through. And you guys know this is written, this specific example is written in this octave right here, but I love the sound of 2 octaves apart for my C blues scale, or any blues scale. Like when I hear really good blues player or people playing in what's called unison, you're playing the same notes in both hands. I prefer the sound 2 octaves apart as opposed to as opposed to doing them really close together, right? It just has more meat to it to me. Okay, so you practice that really slowly. And again, we're not looking for speed. We're just looking for accuracy and getting this shape under our fingers. And then the next thing I want to show you guys is this. Watch this. We're going to do the second measure. So the second measure has the 5-note pattern in our right hand. In our left hand, we're doing this pattern that's really important. C, G to C, A. Let's talk in terms of numbers right now. So C, G is 1 in 5 of the C major scale, and C and A is 1/6 of the major scale. C is 1. That's the 5th note. C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I like the fingering 5-2 to 5-1. Okay, if you guys are understanding this and enjoying this, just put that in the chat, yes. And then if you're watching, let me see how many people are watching. I just want to make sure, I'll make sure I'm still live. I noticed on a quick side note, yesterday we did a live stream and I had not assigned the playlist to the iMusicAcademy channel, so we were kind of out there in space, and so I'm always trying to make sure that people can see what we're doing. Okay, so the next thing, guys, is this. You're going to practice this over and over. Claire and Peter. Awesome, Claire. That's good to know. And Claire, because you've been doing this, and Peter and Vicky have been with us for a while, for a long time, you're starting to see, we always talk about repetition is your friend and all of this stuff, right? Doesn't matter what level you are, we need to go over the basics. But guess what? It gets easier, and it really starts to make sense the more you do this stuff, right? I mentioned to somebody, remember, we're going an hour today, and so we're going to cover a lot of stuff. We have 40 minutes left, and we're going to just talk through this stuff. You'll be able to go back and watch it in replay. But somebody said in a comment, they said that I said, oh, the reason I can do this is because I practice, and they said, something like stop bragging or whatever, and which was hilarious because I didn't say that. I said the only reason I can do this is because I practice my hands separately. The reason that I could do automatic pilot and the reason I can talk to you guys while I'm doing this stuff, it doesn't matter what bass line I'm doing, I can talk to you guys while I'm doing it. And the reason is because practicing things hands separate is one of the keys to getting better. Right? And then I practice my right hand very slowly, and then we have to lock things up, and that's what we're going to do in this measure right here. Now watch this. If I tried to play this just like this, and I'm a beginner, that might feel really hard because you're trying to kind of put a little swing, not just a super straight feel, but you're thinking, well, when do I change my fingers and try, I have that question all the time. How do I lock up the hands? And what I try to tell people is that if you are trying to lock the hands up, and that means, putting them in sync to each other or with each other. So you learn this and then you learn the left hand. And if you don't read music as well, it can be more difficult. But what you do is you have to practice things straight. I think it really helps to lock things up. Like instead of just doing this, you can slow it down as much as you need to, and you can play it straight. Listen to this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so there's no swing at all happening. And also I'm doing it not only very slowly, but I'm also thinking, well, where do my fingers play together? Watch this. The C is together with this C and G. Now watch this. Now the E flat is by itself, 1 and 2, and then when I'm on the C and A, my F is played by my middle finger. So now we have this, and then that F sharp is by itself, Okay, now somebody pick another key, and I'm going to show for my more experienced players. You have a little bit more experience. Let's try a different key. Somebody put a different key in the chat, and then we'll quickly talk about that. Which, by the way, guys, for anybody who may be a beginner, with my practice group, I always send out things. We have courses for days, and we have all the major scales written out so we can practice our scale fingerings and all that. So you can email me if you're having trouble with any of that, you need more information on major scales and how to do all that, and I can send you guys a PDF, so no problem at all. And then while we're waiting on somebody to put any key in the chat, and we'll practice this, also make sure, again, you like the video if you're enjoying this, and also say hello in the chat if you haven't done that. And somebody put in the chat just a particular key, and we'll transpose this little exercise as we go through this. We're going to go through this entire PDF, and we're going to do some other things as well. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for somebody to there we go. All right, Claire. All right, Claire. That comes from your what I'd say, the key of E, right? It's Claire's fault that we did the whole what I'd say. We did all kinds of PDFs and lessons and licks and things like that. So that's for you, Claire. Claire inspired me to learn more about the Ray Charles stuff, and so that's why we've been doing a lot of that. All right, so Claire, you picked the key of E. Now, the first thing that we'll need to know is what is the major scale in the key of C? The key of E. And the first thing that we'll do, there's a way that you can learn your major scales. There's a thing called the order of sharps. This is just a quick crash course in that, is that C has no sharps or no flats. It's all white notes. And then there's a funny saying you do. It's called fat cats go down alleys eating bread. And what that means is each time you go up 5 notes, C, D, E, F, G, you're adding 1 sharp now for fat cats. So F sharp. So watch this. G major has 1 sharp. Okay, and now that's the one that has 1 sharp. And so I'm thinking in my mind, fat cats. Now watch this. I'm at G. I'm going to go up 5 notes now. G, A, B, C, D. Now that's the one that has 2 sharps. And you can find that next sharp that you add by going down a half step. Now watch. Fat cats. F sharp and C sharp. That's a D major scale. Now how do I find the next one that has 3 sharps? Watch this. D, E, F sharp, G, A. That's 3 sharps. How do I find what sharp that is? I go down a half step. Fat cats go. 3 sharps. Now you have A major scale, right? Now how do I find the next one? A, B, C sharp, D, E. Oh, E major, the one that Claire just picked. And you say, all right, fat. So how do I find out? I go down a half step. That's that one. So it's fat cats go down. So that's how you find your different scales. How many sharps does a scale have? Now, since Claire picked this, I'm just going to do this the right way because it's the only way I know how to do. I would tell my students to make sure you use the right fingerings. And the fingering is for E is the same as C. It's 1, 2, 3, thumb under, and 2, 3, 4, 5. On the way back down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. In my left hand, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so you lay them all down. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, and you cross over, 3, 2, 1. Now to put them together, there are all kinds of tricks you can learn to know which fingers to use for your scales. A little side note but important note is that if I know my C scale fingering, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I know that scale fingering, that same fingering works for C, it works for G, it works for D, it works for A, and it works for E. So you have 5 scales right there that use the exact same fingering. That's one really important thing. All right, so Claire, in order to play our blues scales, I'm going to go back to the key of C. We know our C major scale, and to play this 5-note pattern, we use the 1, the flat 3, the 4, the sharp 4, and the 5. So because now I know my E major scale, I'm going to go up to the 1 and the flat 3. Normally, E major has a G sharp, so I'm going to flat it. That means I'm going to lower it by a half step, and then I'm going to play the 4th note, the sharp 4, which means to raise that, and then I go up to the 5th note of the E scale. So now I have this right here. That's just like this, but now it's on the key of E. And I'm thinking 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, and 5, right? In my left hand, I'm going to do the exact same thing. That's my root, that's my home key that Claire suggested. And I'm going to go up to the 5th note and then play that. That's my root 5th to a root 6 of an E major scale, right? So now I'm doing this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Remember, you can straighten it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and and just like, whoa. All right, I just got a hi there from somebody in the chat, and I want to know if that's a new iMusicAcademy member. It was a loud buzz. If you guys are just joining us, we had somebody, or I put up the link to our WhatsApp chat group, which is a lot of fun. It's people from our iMusicAcademy community. You can ask questions, you can share family photos, you can find out what's going on at iMusicAcademy when I'm going live, tips and all kinds of things. It's totally free. It's just a neat way to connect, but only connect if you really want to connect. I don't want anybody spamming that account. I just want people who love music, love to practice, and love community. So here we go. So Claire, you said the key of E, right? And when we did that, what I'd say, like, this is a perfect example of how to bridge into something. Awesome, from Cameroon. Awesome, it's great to have you from Cameroon. That's awesome. All right, so Claire, thank you for putting that in the chat. I'm actually, I have this idea now that I've already been making a list of where everybody's from. Awesome. Do you go by Eric? I want to make sure, I'm going to do an iMusicAcademy map across the world. That's why I put that little globe there. So anyway, you guys, it's so cool. I wish I could, I wouldn't do this, but I wish I could share all the different emails that I get from people that are literally in crazy places. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. So anyway, wouldn't it be nice to have a map of the world, iMusicAcademy? It'll go right here, and I can see different people from different parts of the world, and we're all, together with just like one click. So, all right, here we go. This is going to bring it home, Claire, just as a reminder of how awesome this power is of learning our major scales and knowing how to create patterns that we can transpose and put into different keys by just knowing the formula. In this case, if I know my C major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and now I know my E major scale, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. If I use the pattern of the what I'd say blues that we did, I'm going up to the 5th note of the E major scale, the flat 7 up to the root. And then I slide from my sharp 4 and I go down. So if I'm in the key of C major, I do, what note am I going to start off? Oh, I'm going to slide up to the 5th, up to the flat 7, in the same way I did this. 5th of E major, up to the flat 7, up to the root. So in C, it's the same. Isn't that cool how you can do it? So listen. And then I could do the pattern that we just worked on. So I'm not just playing random notes, right? I'm playing this same pattern that we learned at iMusicAcademy from the What I'd Say blues. It's that little turnaround. So as you learn your major scales, we learn our numbers, we can transpose anything into any key eventually. But for my beginners and my intermediate players, I just wanted to, for us to get the feel and get the confidence in C and start there. And if you have more experience, work on something in a different key. All right, let's go ahead to the next example. And Eric and anybody else who's just tuning in, make sure, again, you like the video. I love the fact that you're telling me where you guys are from. I love the fact that you guys are enjoying this. The third example is this right here. So what is it doing? 1, flat 3, root. and then it's going up to that, what's called a tritone. If you go up from one note and you go up 4 notes of the scale and then you sharp it, that's called a tritone. It has a really interesting sound, right? It kind of, a lot of dissonance there, but it's really cool. And I mentioned in yesterday's stream is, I remember Oscar Peterson doing that. Oscar Peterson is definitely who I just couldn't believe when I started listening to this music, jazz music and blues music, how amazing Oscar Peterson is. And I often heard that tritone, and I was like, what in the world is going on there? But the tritone, this interval of not a 4 but sharp 4 away, gives you some really cool sounds, which I'll show you in just a minute. But it's a really unique sound. And all we're doing, notice this, we're changing around the blues scale. That's our first 5 notes. And all we're doing is 1, flat 3, 1, then the triad. But notice that it still fits in the hand. Then the tritone. What about in the key of E? Right? Just like we said, all right, if Claire wanted to do the key of E. So I knew it was going to go root up to minor 3rd, and then I go tritone up to the 5th, and it still all fits under the hand. So going back to C. Okay, any questions about that? Put it in the chat, otherwise we're going to keep going on. Yeah, I like this one right here. All right, very good. So listen to this right here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So if I'm looking at this pattern, 1 flat 3, 1 and 2, 4 tritone. So it's going up. It's just starting on the and. So it's not starting right here. It's delaying. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Still fitting under the hand, right? All right, now I'm going to give you a little tip that's really important, is that in a basic blues context, there are 3 chords that we're going to use, C, F, and G. You play this C for a while, and then you're going to go to what's called the 4 chord, which is F. So C, D, E, F, right? And we're going to do this same pattern of 1 of F, major scale, to the 5th, and then to the 6th. And then when I go to the other chord, eventually it's going to be the G chord, right? And we're doing 1-5 to 1-6. But I can use, if I'm in a C blues, and even though I'm going from a C chord to an F chord and then eventually to a G chord, I can still play and should play mostly C blues scale riffs and ideas. Because it still works over the other chords, which is a kind of a neat idea that you can do. And a lot of people, we have to learn that. You know, sometimes we think, okay, if we're here in C and we're playing that blues lick, I'll do it again. And now I'm going to go to F, and I'm going to change now. Okay, that doesn't sound good at all. Changing that, and if I went to G, no, that's not going to sound good. But listen what happens if I just stay on C. I'll do that again, C. Now I'm going to go to F. Still worked for me. Now G. So if I'm playing a C blues, I'm just going to stay on that C blues pattern and wear it out, even though I'm changing to different chords. All right, more on that later, but let me go to the next example. By the way, this example right here of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, that'd be a great example to try in another key. And let me go ahead, and while we're talking about this is really important. Another game changer is that as you go into, if you're learning about the blues, and I just said, okay, if you're in a C blues, you play mostly C blues scale riffs and ideas, right? Which is true. But there's a closely related other scale that's just like the C scale that but go down 3 half steps, and now you're on A, okay? And I'm gonna get you to play this, which is actually the A blues scale transposed down to A. So it's the same thing. It's the 1 of an A major scale, the flat 3rd, the 4th, the sharp 4, and we're just gonna use the first 4 notes of the A blues scale. The great thing, and this is just, to me, really cool how this works out. One of my favorite notes of the blues is the A note of the scale of C major. So let's say this: C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This idea that this the A note in your blues. So listen. So you have your blues scale. I'll stay there. So all I'm doing there is the same exact thing, shape 1, but I'm going down to the A note and playing the first 4 notes of the A blues scale. And that's called the relative minor, which we'll come to in a different video, the relative minor scale of C major. They're very closely related, and so that's why you can use this. And when I go up to that E flat, that's right there part of the C major scale, right? The C blues scale is that note right there. Okay, let's keep going down this beginning PDF. And the next one, okay, the next one is actually, I didn't even know that I was going to this particular one, but it is exactly what I just said. The idea that you can use 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's the next example. And so let me play that again. Thank you again for the likes, and it really helps me know that you guys are here and enjoying this. And then let's go ahead and get this in our brains, is that, and our muscle memory, is that if you're playing a C blues, that you also need to experience this example, is that A blues scale, first 4 notes. I'm going to show you in a few minutes, I'm going to show you one very important note that you have to know to make it, to bring it all together, and one note that we're missing right away. If anybody thinks they know what note that is that we need to add to all this stuff we're doing, then let me know in the chat. Okay, the next example is what I had already said about the tritone. Now, if I play this right here, F sharp up to C, F sharp, C, F, E flat, C. This is a really cool, in my opinion, way to play that tritone. Da-dee-da-bo-dee-bo-da-dum. And just get this shape under your fingers. Da-dee-da-bo-da-bo-da-dum. Da-da-da-bo-dee-bo-da. It's still blues scale, right? It just has this nice little tension right there. How about this? a really, really neat sound. And what I would always tell my students is, hey, get that in the key, whatever key you're in, and then pick another key and do the same thing. So like if I'm doing this, well, if I went up a half step, okay, right? Same thing. Okay, let's keep going down the list here and show you a few more things. The next one is pretty simple. Sorry. I kind of like that. Even when I change the bass. On G. Even I'm going to teach you the blues scale fingering in just a second, but let's keep going down. So we have this. I like that. I think I like that one even better. Stay on this. Now I'm playing everything way too fast for the sake of time right now, not because I want to play it fast. I would prefer to play it slower. I really like that one. So you may have heard what I was just doing there. All I was doing was going back and forth between examples on this sheet, right? Sometimes I was going boom, da, ba, da, 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 da. Other times I did the bottom right one. Da, 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 da. If I need to straighten that out. All right, very good. We'll keep going on to the next part. All right, we have even this right here, da 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 da, is a really nice sound. Da 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 da. Sharp 4 of C major is the same exact thing in A. Right. Let's keep going. The next one is da 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 da. The next one is we're not even getting into, you take one simple idea like that right there, da 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 bo, da 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 dum, and we can play with all kinds of different bass lines. Or all right, guys, let me keep going here. I hope that this is inspiring you guys to keep the simple patterns. This is where we get better, is that we simplify things. And that's what I try to do. Very simple 5-note patterns. Isn't it kind of crazy that you can take this kind of pattern right here, first 5 notes of the blues scale, and turn it around so many ways? You can play it up and down. You can do like this, or I could go. All right, now, what I was just doing there was actually very easy in terms of my note selection. But let me I was playing things too fast for what I wanted to demonstrate. But what I wanted to demonstrate is, if you just take any of these patterns, don't feel like you have to learn all of them at the same time or experiment with all of them at the same time. Some of the time, if you notice that I would just stay on one pattern, like let me just pick one of them again. Because I'm about to wrap, when we wrap this up, let me see what time it is. Time flies, it's already 11:52. If I'm going to show you a way to bring this all home, so hang in there with me. I think you'll enjoy this. If I do this, I'm going to pick one example, and I go, I like that. Maybe in my 10-minute practice session of the day, or my 15-minute practice session a day, I'm going to use that lick. Actually, it was this one. So as I even break up that one pattern, I'm coming down 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, da 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 da, and then I come down the first 4 notes of that blues scale. So dee da 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 da. Maybe that's going to be the only right hand thing I'm going to do. Now, when I go to the F chord, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, now let's talk let's talk about a couple more things I want to do is to make sure you know the C blues scale. I'm going to go to the next shape. I've been doing that this week, but let's go ahead and do a review. Is that if this is shape 1, the first 5 notes of the blues scale, if you go 1, 2, 3, fourth finger on F sharp, this is what I call my anchor finger. In other words, it's the one that helps me transition from the first half of the blues scale up to the top. And so if you have the 1, the flat 3, the 4, the sharp 4, the 5, and the flat 7, and the 1, that's the entire C minor blues scale. Okay, now the shape 2 is 5, flat 7, root, and minor third. As I said yesterday, your middle finger will tell you exactly the note that you need to use. That's your key. Whatever key you're in or whatever chord you're on, that's the one you would use. Whatever key you're in, you do middle finger will give you the key, so C, and then your thumb is on the 5th, your index finger is on the flat 7, and your your ring finger is on the minor third. So you have this nice tension at the top. Listen. And what I want you to practice next is if this is shape 1 and my fingers are over each note, all those notes are going to work in my improvisation regardless of what chord I'm on. But I use my 4th finger to help set up shape 1 again. Right, this is my transition. If I can get to that F sharp, my 4th finger on the F sharp, I'm home free for the smoothness of that scale. Now again, I'm playing it too fast, but it's just because of we're coming up on the end of the stream. I just want to make sure that you can practice this, shape 1, shape 2, and then the A blues scale is just the first shape in a different key, right? Want to make sure you can do that A blues scale. All right, now we're going to add one important thing, and that's the note E. It's great to have this really minor sounding scale, right? Right, that's great to have that. But what we really want to also hear is this major third, right? You had this. And then also you want to have that E flat, but sometimes you want to hear that major third. Let me just give you a very quick, easy lick. I'm not going to go into the whole major thing today because we did a lesson on that the other day, but there's a video with 3 important scales that we want to make sure we do. 3 different kinds of minor blues scales, 3 different kinds of blues scales. Here's your 30-second overview. One was the C major blues scale. It's your pentatonic scale make sure you go back and watch that video, but it's your 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 major pentatonic scale with that addition of the flat third. So you have this sound, which is a great sound. And then you also had the other one we did was we did the C minor blues scale, which is the one we did today. And then the other one is a mixture of both. You have the first 4 notes of the C minor blues scale, and now you're going to go 5, 6, 1. That's your major pentatonic. So that gets that A note in there. Listen. Sorry. That would be an example of that. So 3 different scales, but what I want to emphasize right now as we wrap up is this idea of also putting in that major third. A very simple lick that I'll give you just for fun is the 2, 3, 5. You're giving me minor third of the key to major third and the 5th, and just do it as a triplet. This kind of thing. So. Are we still on live stream? I'm having a feeling we may not be. So as I'm looking at this, there are a couple of really interesting things I see. It says we're offline. That's the first thing. And it also says one waiting for the live stream to start, currently offline, which is not an exciting feeling after having gone for a whole hour. So somebody put that in the chat. And then the next thing is, let me hit the live button here. Somebody needs to confirm if we're still live. Okay, gosh. All right. The other thing I was noticing, Claire, is that before the live stream started, not many people had checked in or whatever, and it said that I had streamed 23 hours ago. This particular stream that had not happened yet. And so I'm looking into some creative ways of, or I'm going to look up a lot of videos to get some engagement before I go into the actual. Okay, very good, Eric. Thank you guys for that. Yeah, I was a little bit worried when I looked. It still has some really, it said the stream came online in 1968 or something like that. It's very strange. All right, good. Now that we're going, we know we're live, I want to finish with this couple of really important things. This major blues scale, I did send this out to my email list this last week, 3 different important blues scales. The one, I'll say it one more time, is the major blues scale. What a cool sound this is of just playing the scale. Right, in Blues Volume 1, we have this lick right here. Right, that major sounding with that 6 notes, a really cool thing. And in the video the other day, we talked about the idea of using that Ray Charles type fingering to get those slides in, to where you're not just doing 1, 2, 3, but you're giving me 1, 2, slide to 3. And we talked about how to make that sound really loose and full. But you have that idea that we want to work on. But here's your lick. So you're going to go, and I'll do it really slow. So when I go to C, G, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's just outlining that C triad. Here we go. Now I'll add that lick. Okay, now, as we wrap up, I just gave you that lick, the next one, and the most important one that I'm going to give you that will give you that major third is the most popular lick at iMusicAcademy, the one that is getting us to 1 million views on that one video. Now, I asked the question to my iMusicAcademy chat group. As we're wrapping up, I'm going to show you that lick here in a second, but I do want to make sure, Eric, I don't know if you're in our WhatsApp chat group, but make sure you get in that chat as well. I know Claire's already in there. Vicky may or may not be in it, but I know Peter is. But it's totally free. It's just an easy way to connect with you guys and an easy way for you guys to connect with me. There's a link up there for WhatsApp chat group. Get into that. I want to see how many people sign up for that, because I think we currently have 7 members or 7 people that are also members of the other group that I have. But I'm looking for some Music Academy family that may not be in that. It's totally free. Do that. Hit that code or hit that link. It's the middle link. The top link is that beginning blues pattern, and the other is the 50 Days to Flying Fingers, this example number 1. I'm challenging all of you to do this exercise. Do it for a week and then get back with me and say, wow, this has really made a difference. Or do it for a day and say, wow, this is really working my fingers. I want to hear from you guys, because you have to be working your fingers every day. And by doing exercises like that, this kind of exercise works all of your fingers, but so does this. So I could do this. If you have more experience, I want maybe do that for, 10 times. And even slower than I'm doing. Right? I could do that in all keys. The reason I can do that in all keys is not because I'm any better than anyone else, but because I've practiced it slowly and I learned my major scales and I still practice these things. Right? I don't just play the patterns. I think, oh, that's first 5 notes of the C blues scale. And I know I can use those in any blues. And if I was playing with my friends or show up anywhere and they play a blues and they say, all right, blues in G. You're like, okay, well, I know this G blues scale first 5 notes, and I know this little major lick that I learned. So if it was a G blues, I know I could play that, or I could do this. Now, I just did this bo-da-da-da, bo-da-da-da-da, bo-da-da-da-da. Now, that lick is the top half of the blues scale. And I said with your middle finger, that gives you that key that you're in, and that gives you that specific access to that. Somebody pick one other key, somebody in the chat. And I have, hang in there we're about to go into a very cool thing that I have, I'm going to need your feedback on something. So hang in there, don't hang up yet. Don't exit the chat yet. But somebody pick one other key. I'm going to show you one more time something really important. Yeah, WhatsApp is very easy. I'm not looking for anybody to spam up our group. It's just there for us to connect together, and I give lots of updates, and hey, I'm going live, or hey, try this tip, or here's this sheet music example, or something, whatever's coming up at iMusicAcademy. Or maybe it's just an encouraging word to hey, go out and practice. It also says one person is waiting, and I don't even know how many people are on the live. Normally it says, oh, you have 5 people watching, something like that. Okay, so key of D. If I do like this, that gives me something to play. Middle finger on D. That's the key I'm in. That's the blues key. So if I was showing up and they said, all right, we're going to play in the key of D. That'll work over every key chord. Same thing. And then the other thing is if I played my D blues scale, I would have those 5 notes. And if I played the B scale, my relative minor, right? And or I could do the all right, you get the idea. We learn these very, very simple patterns, and then if we learn a little bit about our notes, our major scales, we can take anything in any key and be confident about it. All right. Let's wrap it up. I have 2 things to tell you. One is the chord you're going to do to bring it all together, and then I have a question for everybody. All right, the chord is this. My most popular video at iMusicAcademy has 86,000 views, something like that. And I'm going to ask you a question about what we're going to do when we get to 1 million. But this first example kind of went viral for us of using this. What am I doing there? C triad, minor third to major third. I just showed you, I was telling you guys about the importance of that minor third to major third, right? Just slide from your 2 to your 3, and then I go C, F, and A, and then I get up into the keys and I do C, G, and B flat, right? You can go back and watch that video if you want, but that's an example of something to add into your daily repertoire of practice. This is great for your finger workout. And and it gives you something to play. Sometimes I don't just play it up and down. Sometimes I do like this. Now this one, when I go to F, I can change to F. Awesome. Now, I've been doing this lick as well this week, and there are lots of reasons. One, people love that lick. I have two, one's a middle school student and the other's a high school student, and that's all I have time for locally. But we do that, and they absolutely love that lick, and everybody loves that lick. That lick is also in my most popular and worst quality video. I always say that because it is really a horrible quality video. This is kind of what got iMusicAcademy started, with all of these blues courses and jazz courses and everything. I did this simple video, and I start out, I'm like, all right, just get this guy going right here, whatever. And people love that. They said, no talking, he just got right into it. So it's the world's worst quality video, but the content is really been helpful according to a lot of people. So that lick is in there as well, and that's also in Blues Volume 1. But this kind of example right here, just a fun little fact, is if we slow it down, and it's important to slow it down, all we're doing is a C triad, minor third to major third, and then it's a C triad and second inversion, and then I cross over and I do F and A, which is the 4 chord of the blues, and then I end on a minor third to major third triad. Now watch this. If I know that, I start on the minor third and go to the major third. It doesn't matter what key I'm in. If I'm in F, then I cross over, right? If I'm on G, I go to the minor third to the major third, cross over. So it doesn't matter what key, because I've done my homework of learning my major scales. And another fun little fact, when I did 2 years ago, I did Blues Volume 1 in all keys, and we went through every single lick in every single key, and we talked about all the theory and everything. So to some of you guys who are watching this video, this will be a review of, oh yeah, I can not only play that lick or relearn the lick, but I can play it in all different keys. So that's why I've been playing that lick, and I put a video. I said, impress your friends. And there's a lady pointing to the word impress your friends or something like that. And so that video is doing really well on YouTube. So go watch that. And by the way, Eric, and anybody who doesn't have that, I put the PDF to this lick right here. It's in the comment section of there. And it's a quick download. Just hit it and download it right away. It'll tell you the fingering and everything. Okay, so I've got to finish the lesson part, and then I have the question. I know I'm over budget. If you take this beginning blues sheet and you're working on these things of let me do notice that I'm doing a mixture, right? Yes, sir, Eric. Okay, now, here we go. Listen, here's the basic. Okay, so you see what I was doing? I was just playing a simple pattern and then going to the major third, right? I was hinting around to that major third. I didn't go into this one, but I probably should have. And then if you're watching this video and you can scroll through the comment sections of the previous videos that I've done and download whatever charts. I tried to make quick links so you can just grab those. But we did these videos on that example, which I did a couple times today. That's in Blues Volume 1 and Blues Volume 4. But there are just some simple ways to start learning these patterns. 3 up to the root, chromatically down to the 9 and the flat 7. And then you start putting those in your improvisation. All right, now here's the thing. So we're done practicing. We're coming up on 1 million views for this one video. What should we do as the iMusic Academy community? What could we do that would really help the iMusic Academy family? There has to be something. We should do something special. Now, I do realize that there are channels that just started last week and already have millions of views, but that's not my channel. But I want to do something really nice for our community, and I'm just trying to think. I need some opinions on what we should do. And I do have some exciting news for our members. Just as I'm waiting to hear from you guys, so I have been teaching 6 amazing people. Let me give my shout outs to my team. I don't need this little... my shout outs to Dave P, to Dave W, to Claire, to T-Man, to Peter, to Ian. You guys have been amazing. Last, year and a half or more, we've been together, and we do 4 live sessions a week, just like this, just not as long. A minimum of 4 sessions, but we try to keep it at 4, Monday through Thursday, occasionally Fridays. But we just do fun lessons, and we have technically a 5-minute playlist we do, and it always ends up being 10 minutes and sometimes 30 minutes and sometimes longer, but people can watch it at any time. But it's a very affordable way of studying one-on-one with me and our group. So if anybody is actually interested in being a part of that, I would love to talk with you before you made any kind of decision to do that. But I do have some really exciting things that are coming up for iMusic Academy April 1st. And just a little fun fact, just from the standpoint of the channel, I've had people literally getting my new versions of the blues. I have an 8-course bundle, just a fun little fact. 8-course bundle and a 5-course bundle, and both of those have the new versions of all my blues courses. It's courses 1 through 4. They're all interactive PDFs that now take you right to each lesson in the sheet music. I'm so proud of those because somebody emailed me last night. They said, "Hey, they said I saw your videos on Vimeo, and when I buy them, will I be able to watch them or will I have to pay for them?" And it hit me right then that that's not even the way we do iMusic Academy. Those courses, when I first started selling those, I 100% believed in the content, but it was one long file of Blues Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and I had the individual charts, and they would have to do all that. Well, now we have let me just pull one of them up just to show you, and this is what I'm really excited about. Let me see if I can pull up this window. This will be fun to show you guys. All right, one second. Yeah, and so I sent David an email last night. David emailed me about this, the Vimeo question. So if for some reason David happens to be listening, I wanted to at least show you guys what we're doing. And I've always said this, I think it's important to say, but if there was somebody that couldn't afford to, support my courses and everything, and there was some kind of need, I would work with that person. I don't do this for the money, but I do have a lot of expenses, just like everybody else, with a lot of different things. But so if you are able to be a part of helping with any of those courses, that would be great. But none of that's expected. But I do get excited to be able to show you when we make really cool improvements. All right, let me show you. Where was that? Hold on, I lost it real quick. Okay, it's this window. All right, so let's say that I wanted to pull up. So here's the cover, right? Blues Volume 4. And then there's your digital video and sheet music. And this is for David was asking about the volume. So you download, you get anything from iMusicAcademy, you get the PDF. And if I click on example 7, boom, there it is. There's example 7. If I want to watch example 7, watch what happens. I click on it, boom, and we're right. Oops, let me dismiss that. And we're right in example 7. All right, guys, welcome to lick number 7. Isn't that cool? And then I just hit the back button, and guess what? It takes me right back to the PDF. And at any time, if I want to go to any lick, I just press that camera thing, and then if I want to go back to the menu, I just do that. But, I mean, from where we started to now we have this, it is a really, really cool feeling. And so now, even on that 5-course bundle that I have, it's Blues Volume 1 through 4, and then it's the Easy Jazz Piano course. You get PDFs just like this. They're instantly sent to you, and all those videos are just buried within YouTube. And so that's kind of fun. I use them myself, and I use them with the students. And also, a fun fact with our students is we do every one of my students, my 6 people, they have their own song. There's a Claire de Blues. There's Peter's Gumbo Blues. I think there's T-Man's Tea Leaf Rag, and every time we do a lesson, the whole group gets the lesson. So every week they're getting brand new PDFs of whatever we're working on. So we have a lot of material at iMusicAcademy, and I always make sure that I send out PDFs with detailed fingering so everybody has some fun, fresh things to practice always. So anyway, so did anybody put in the chat what we're supposed to do? The hints for the 1 million. When we get to 1 million views on that one video, we have to do something fun. Should I do some kind of giveaway? Should I do? I'm just thinking out loud. I need people in the family to help me figure this one out. I'm excited about it. That video that is coming up on 1 million. It's funny because not only is it my most popular video, but I get about 50 subscribes at minimum a month on that one video. And, advertising helps just a little bit on YouTube, but that's been my best ad video for 6 years or something like that. And I thought about when it goes to 1 million, I was going to replace it with a different video. I'm not taking the video down, just going to feature a different video. All right, let me check our WhatsApp chat group. Does anybody have any questions on anything before I sign off? I have some really exciting things coming. And in fact, I'm supposed to do another. Hey, there's somebody that unsubscribed to my my email list. That's normal, by the way. I get it. If somebody emails you, and we get so many emails from people. All right, I'm gonna go another 2 to 4 minutes. And anybody has any questions on anything? Yeah, Claire, you're going to have to get creative. How's the weather? Are you still in the blizzard, Claire? I'm going to guess no. Claire went to beach weather to blizzard weather coming back from his vacation. Which that's a really cool picture. Where I am, we hardly ever get snow. In fact, I wrote a song about that. I called it No Snow in Birmingham. Or they'll tell us, oh yeah, there's a potential that it might get snow, and everybody freaks out, and then it doesn't happen. Yeah. I bet it's nice when you have all that snow and then you travel somewhere where it's nice and hot. All right, Eric from Cameroon gets the winning new place today. That's cool. I got to get my iMusicAcademy map. I'm going to add all of these places. Have you had a chance to start practicing again, Claire? Claire, just so you know, and I'll tell you guys a little something. Anybody who may be listening, so our membership area, I've started to create a new one. So it's just like the other one that has everything in it, but also it's a very cool visual back end. So I'm going to send you guys an email today about that. Awesome. Very good. Yeah, Claire, ease back into it by this simple stuff, right? Just get your fingers going again. I would say to practice that exercise, the 50 Days to Flying Fingers example 1. I'm going to make sure you guys are all doing that. And then also just pick 1 or 2 patterns from this little beginning blues thing and get the fingers working again. I think it's so important to, motivate yourself to do, like if you had 10 minutes of practice, if I have 5 or 10 minutes, I might do something like this for myself. Then I'd spend time doing that, and then I go really slow. And just a fun little last second tip. I told you guys I have these 2 really awesome local kids that take with me, and I play something for them. I see their eyes light up, and then I'm like, okay, I can't just play that. I have to tell them what I did. That's kind of the way I'm wired. So I have to teach something that I just showed you guys. And so when you go to different keys for even blues example 1, there are only 2 fingerings that you guys have to know. This would be a great way to end this stream. Is you have the slide key of sliding from the black key to the white key, minor third to major third. Now watch this. When I go to B, it's not I can't slide. I have to hammer on the minor third to major third. So it's either a slide key or a hammer-on key. What about D? Oh, it's a hammer-on. What about E flat? It's a slide key. What about E? Hammer-on. Slide key on F. Hammer-on F sharp. Slide key G. Hammer on A flat. Hammer on A. B flat is a slide key. B is a hammer on. So isn't that nice that you can just take 2 fingerings to play that one example in any key? And what often people have trouble with is they don't know what fingerings to use, and it kind of at times can make us think, oh, I won't ever be able to transpose, or I can't transpose, I can't play in that particular key. And it's just because you just haven't been I had to figure these things out myself, like how in the world am I going to get from from this in the key of B. And the answer is very simple. You do 1, 2, 3, and you get used to hammering on to that major third. So practice it very slowly. You can even use the Claire bass line. I always say practice what we call a comfortable key, and then you practice one that's not comfortable, and then go back to your comfort key if you get frustrated, and to check yourself. All right, guys, that was so much fun. I'm going to go practice guitar now. I have some guitar things that I've been working on for some people. And the other thing I'm going to do is work on our the new membership area. And the other thing I'm going to do, I had one more thing. I'm trying to remind myself what it is. I'm going to look at ways to get the chat up for YouTube when we have the YouTube videos. I want to make sure when I'm going to go live, I want to make it to where you guys can connect with each other. Hey, coming from Canada, Cameroon, whatever, before I get on the live, like 5 minutes before or something like that. And then try to clean up all this stuff that says one waiting, live stream offline. And it says that I streamed 23 hours ago. And I have no idea why, but that doesn't help me when it's like people thinking the stream. I even thought the stream had happened yesterday when I looked at my channel. Thank you guys to my students, Claire, Peter. I have to say it again. You guys are amazing, and I've learned so much from hanging out with you guys the last year and a half, just about the benefits of community and doing this stuff. You guys have been extremely amazing. And think about you guys all the time when I'm creating courses and PDFs and practicing. You know, we are in this together, and we have to keep it fun. And even when we don't feel motivated, there are little things we can do to help get us back in the swing of things. So thank you, Dave P. Thank you, Dave W. Thank you, Claire, of course. Thank you, T-Man. Thank you, Peter. And thank you, Ian. And thank you to anybody else who is watching this stream. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Vicky, of course. Vicky's my right-hand person always. Thank you so much. And thank you to the YouTube community. As we approach 1 million, I need you guys to help me figure out what's something really special we could do for the iMusicAcademy community. And then if anybody has any interest in joining our practice group, just let me know. I only want people who are really just wanting to connect. Whether it's me or somebody else, find somebody to work with. And it's really nice and motivating to work with somebody to have some goals. So have a great day. I'll see you. Make sure you like this video, comment. That has been helping my channel a lot. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you in the next video.